Hi, shipmate, how the devil. Welcome to the BBC Spews for the 17th of March. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? I've had a shave because everyone was whinging. Weird, right? Chris Thrall gets to rock a full fucking beard and he doesn't get debriefed by his chat. Me, I've been a strawberry movie for 10 years. I'm getting whinged at because I've got fucking designer stubble. I tell you, it's like having a full-time job. This get whinged at when I don't come in on time as well. Whinged at when I'm not attired correctly. Whinged at when I'm not on time. Might as well be a bootneck. If you made me get my balls out and crawl through the nettles for half an hour, it's like I've never left. It's like I've never left. So yeah, cheers for that. Hope everyone's doing all right. Carl, Richard, Kenny, Derek, Jeff, Dave, Jim Flowers. This is England. Whiskey Straight Al's in. How are we doing, Al? I haven't seen you for a while. I hope your health's doing all right. Harold, anyone else who I've missed, welcome. Kate not in, strangely. Ah, well, we'll have to get by with, oh, there she is. She's just been quiet. Not joining synchronized swimming class. Well, to be fair, synchronized swimming is probably better for your health than giving yourself an ulcer watching the Angry Bootneck. Hello, Maggie P. How you doing? Right. Fucking Tobias. I thought we had Tobias Elwood in there. It's not. It's Tobias F. Thank fuck for that. Tobias E. is on my shit list. I don't want to talk to him. He is most certainly not in Bootneck's corner. That fucking prick. Right. Although this is called the BBC Spews, today we're doing a bit of Fox News instead of BBC Spews because I had my fucking mind blown by this. I think I'll have to make a video about it because I was absolutely astounded. So let's jump right into it, shall I? This is fucking unbelievable. This is the brass neck of the fucking brass, the forge. This is the neck of 1,000 giraffes. This is. I know all politicians lie, which is another thing that I used to make a point of mentioning regularly because it pisses me off when they always go, yeah, Trump tells lies. And I was like, what? As opposed to every politician in human history. Trump lies, of course he does. Every single politician in human history lies. They've lied since ancient Rome. You know what I mean? The old adage about how do you tell when a politician's lying, his lips moving? That is as old as time. For as long as politicians have existed, politicians have lied. This is known. Everybody knows this is the way. It's just life. Lawyers and politicians lie. So there was this really, really fucking weird thing when Trump was in, where it was news when he lied. He'd tell a lie and go, fucking hell, headline news for a week. Fact check. Trump told a lie. Weird. Weird how they don't do that anymore, isn't it? Because this here, what I'm about to show you, is porky fucking pie of the... I mean, at least if Trump lied about something personal, he could possibly get away with it. Like, oh, I didn't sleep with that woman. Oh, no, that was Bill Clinton. Yeah, a lie. But they all lie. This one, though, is expecting, you know what I told you guys, they act as if we've got a fucking goldfish memory. Like, something can happen. I mean, Biden's the worst for it because he's old and thick. Biden was thick when he was 60. Everybody knows this. He was thick when he was 60. He was thick when he was 40. He's been putting his fucking foot in his mouth since he got into politics. I remember reading newspaper articles about him in the 90s where he put his foot in his mouth. The things he said about Northern Ireland were so staggeringly arrogant and ignorant. Simultaneously, that's like I've said, the poison combo is when you're both ignorant and thick, but also arrogant. That's the worst combination because if you're ignorant and thick, but you're not arrogant, at least you might at some point think, maybe I'm being ignorant, maybe I'm being thick. Biden has always had that awful duo where he's been both simultaneously arrogant and thick as fuck. How can you be arrogant when you're thick as fuck? It's like, you know what it reminds me of? Biden being arrogant is like the big fat birds on Jerry Springer who used to go, everybody loves my booty, and they've got a fucking head like a melted welly and an ass like the back end of a bus. The grotesque in every aspect, yeah. Physically, the repulsive. Teeth like a witch doctor's necklace, fucked up face, fucked up teeth, fucked up body, varicose veins, blancmange tits, the fucking lot. And they go, everybody wants my hot booty, yeah. And it's like, yeah, you've got to be living on another planet to look that shitty and be convinced you look amazing. You're living on another fucking planet, and that's where Biden's at. Biden is in cloud cuckoo land. You won't have to hear him talk for a couple of minutes. Kamala Harris as well. Kamala Harris, when she talks, when she tries to explain anything, and she instantly goes to sort of primary school teacher scalding a recalcitrant child. That's what you get. It's, how are you doing this? How are you simultaneously projecting arrogance and yet being a fucking idiot? That's what I've never understood about thick people that are arrogant. I can understand, like, again, right, a lot of Europeans, especially the French, say the Americans are arrogant. The Americans are arrogant. Well, at least the Americans top the fucking Olympic medal table, right? At least the Americans have the biggest navy. Although China's probably matching them now. They've just got shittier ships. I believe they've got more subs now. Just their subs are a bit shitty compared to the American ones. At least when the French say the Americans, they are arrogant, no. The Americans are arrogant for a reason. They've got the most fucking, well, now it's the most debt, but they had the most money. I'm not slagging off America. Obviously, I am an American, but is anybody labouring under the delusion that that America's not a failing empire, an empire in decline? We've already lost. Britain's gone. Britain's empire's long gone. America's empire is disappearing. Within 20 years' time, the fucking Chinese will take over the world. We all know it. The numbers prove it. We don't even manufacture our own medicines, for fuck's sake. If the Chinese stop sending us medicine, 20 million Americans are dead in a week, right? That is how fucked we are in America. China owns us body and soul. They own all of our politicians. They bought them all. They paid off everyone. They paid off Biden. They paid off Obama. They fucking own our manufacturing. They own our medical supply. We owe them $2 trillion and a fucking panda. That is how fucked we are. So we're in decline. Every empire ends, but at least you had it. I'm not slagging America off for coming to an end. I'm just stating the fact. Britain had an empire, it's gone. At least we had it. America had an empire, it's going quickly. At least we had it. But let's not labour under the delusion that we're still number one. But at least America is still up there. So when a frog goes, the Americans are arrogant, no, at least, yeah, top of the medals table, massive economy, massive navy, massive air force, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, cultural exports across the world, fucking music and everything. America has got a reason to be arrogant. The French are arrogant, and the French are shit at everything. Joe Biden is the physical embodiment of France. Someone who is arrogant, but fucking useless. This is a mad thing, isn't it? A mad thing. How can you be fucking useless and arrogant at the same time? The French are arrogant. You're fucking useless. That little shit Macron, his country is a fucking failure. Why have we gone through so many republics? Because they can't run a piss up in a brewery. The French can't do anything right, and they're still arrogant. It doesn't even make any sense. It's like a fucking, it's like Warwick Davies being arrogant at the tallest man in the world competition. He stood next to a basketball player who's fucking 8'4", and Warwick Davies is like, I've got this in the bag. Warwick Davies and Mini-Me. Warwick Davies, Mini-Me, and another fucking midget could all be stacked up on each other's shoulders in a trench coat, and they'd still be smaller than a fucking basketball player. But for some reason, they're arrogant. They're convinced they've got it in the bag. That's the French. Fucking maniacs. How do you get to be arrogant when you're French? Seriously. It's like Diane Abbott being locked in a fucking room with Carol Vorderman, and Diane's arrogant because they start playing fucking Trivial Pursuit. Oh, I've got this in the bag. Sorry. Yeah, smirking. I've got this. No, you're having fatty. You couldn't answer 8th grade arithmetic with a calculator, you silly fat fuck. So don't be getting arrogant. And that's what I don't understand about the frogs. The arrogance. At least the Americans are fucking useful. Jesus. Anyway, that was a rant about France. You can never go wrong with a rant about France. They have fucked up the entire world. David Starkey, I told you, he said, oh, all bad ideas are French. My dad was saying that in the 90s. And me and my missus in the bar, like 10 years ago, we'd be sitting in the pub. My dad had gone some mad rant about France. And we'd laugh and say, oh, it's Dave's alternative history. And then I'd fucking Google it. And he was always right. France fucks the whole world up. All this postmodernist bollocks, France. All the communist fucking death camps, France. France. Marxism, he's a German. His fucking ideas are French. The Sorbonne. Pol Pot, fucking France's fault. It's all France. The French are fucking useless. They can't run a country. They fucked up the entire world. And they've been doing it for 300 years, and yet they simultaneously managed to be arrogant with it. It blows my fucking mind. Like Stevie Wonder telling me he's got better eyesight than me. I'd make a better sniper than you, Bootneck. Well, I've had firearms training. Yeah, but fuck you. What are you going to do? Hum and use fucking echolocation to find the enemy, like a fucking dolphin. Blind fury, like throw a stone in the bushes. There he is. Blow his head off. Doesn't work that way, Stevie. I mean, fucking crazy times, but listen to this thick twat. That's the French rant done. Listen to this thick cunt behave as if the general public have got the fucking memory power, the memory retention ability of a drunk goldfish. Because I'm even a 10-year-old can remember back 3 weeks, can't they? 3 weeks we've had war in the Ukraine. Listen to this fucking idiot. I shit you not. It knocked my fucking socks off. Here we go. Hope the audio works.
Putin. He used that phrase that these are Putin's price hikes.
Blaming Putin's war in Ukraine as a prime contributor.
It's not bringing war here, right? Like that's another way to message us, I might argue.
Yeah, and Putin's price hike is a great way to message it.
That was President.
It's a great way. Putin's price hike is a great way to fucking message it. You fucking, have you got a head full of cow shit? You senile battle axe. Jesus fucking wept.
Biden earlier this morning acknowledging that gas prices will go up as a result of his administration banning Russian oil sales in the United States. He called them a Putin price hike.
Make no mistake, the current spike in gas prices is largely the fault of Vladimir Putin.
That the Biden administration is very much calling this Putin.
Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Well, I can remember back 3 weeks, you daft old cunt.
Price hike. With this war ongoing, there will be a significant impact going forward.
Here at home, the toll of the war is having an ever greater impact on the U.S. economy with soaring inflation and gas prices.
Meanwhile, that war in Ukraine having quite the impact here at home, where just about everything is costing more these days.
These are private sector companies. We recognize that. Many of them are making record profits.
They are blaming Biden for rising gas prices. Meanwhile, guess who gets off scot-free? Not just Putin, but the big oil and gas companies.
Blame Putin, blame the gas companies, but don't blame Biden. He's doing everything he can, and he's doing it right.
Right-wing pundits are trying to make it sound simple, blaming it all on President Biden. The New York Times fact check about this was pretty explicit, saying Republicans wrongly blame Biden for...
I can't go on anymore. I can't listen to that fucking fat, oily cunt anymore. Listen to me. How are we here where they can go on telly and say all that, and it's the digital age, and hardly anybody watches CNN anymore, and hardly anybody watches MSNBC anymore, and Joe Rogan gets 14.5 million people listen to his podcast. They get 400,000 fucking prime time, and they're still uniformly New York Times, Washington Post saying that with a straight face. How the fuck don't they laugh out loud when they're saying it? I mean, I can't pause it because Fox doesn't like you doing it. Look, it always goes to this. But there was a point there where you could see
rising gas
if you
prices.
just check it out here,
Do anything
did you see when
that the Biden administration is very much calling this Putin's price hike
Yeah.
with this war ongoing.
While that war,
look at the face on the black woman when this bit goes off. You can see the blonde woman's obviously she's trying to do that fake sincerity thing. What they do, you know, on telly. Doesn't give a flying fuck. Doesn't give a monkey's fart. She's like, am I going to the expensive restaurant tonight, or am I getting a pedicure here? With doesn't give a flying fuck about Ukraine. But at least the black woman looks like she's going to start laughing. Look at her face. The woman on the well, I think it's my left, your right in it. Does it go reverse? Yeah. The woman, the black woman sat next to the bloke. Just look at her face. Look, I just noticed it. I was watching it then.
in Ukraine having quite the impact here at home, where just about everything is costing more these days.
She looks like she's gonna piss herself laughing there. The blonde woman's doing the old fake sincerity. The black woman's like, yeah, oh yeah. I can't remember back 3 weeks, mate. That's why she's fucking laughing. Because the war's been going on for fucking 3 weeks. And this shit's been going on since... How long have we been moaning about inflation? Honestly. Fucking months. Months. In fact, I'm going to say one conciliatory thing here and take it off and not blame it entirely on Biden. But people like you and me, normal, reasonable, centrist people who can do fucking maths, have been complaining about inflation and quantitative easing, which is a posh way of saying printing bastard money, for 30 years. How long have I been talking about that for? Certainly as long as this channel's existed. It's like they're all doing it. Even Trump. They all fucking print more money because they always kick the can down the road, because politicians never want to make the hard decision. They never want to come in and say, listen, I'm going to have to put income tax up 5%. Sorry, I'm just going to have to tax it. We'll do it fair across the board. Every single person's paying 5% more income tax because we're skint and we just can't keep printing money. Nobody will say that because they want to win. So for at least 30 fucking years, like I said, we haven't had a proper prime minister that was worrying about the purse strings since Thatcher. Thatcher sold shit to make money. Right? And I know... Any lefty cunt in the chat, I will fucking run rings around you on Thatcher. I know fucking more about Thatcher. I've actually read books about Thatcher. I know more about Thatcher than most. And the whole idea, I know there's a lot here in the chat who don't like me sticking up for Thatcher. She didn't nationalise the railways because she's a cunt. She didn't nationalise the coal industry and close the mines because she's a cunt. Thatcher did it because we were skint. Go for a walk around the National Railway Museum in York. We've got no money. We had no money. The railways were hemorrhaging money. They were losing billions every year. So we had to do it. Thatcher had to make hard decisions. Yeah, she took your milk away. Well, good job, because if I was in charge, they wouldn't have just called me Matty the milk snatcher. They'd have called me Matty the fucking milk stationery and sandal snatcher, because I'm sick of working class people fucking labouring away to feed scruffy twats. Mick Philpott's fucking kids. Not only would I take your milk, I would scoop the fish fingers out of fucking milk. Mick Philpott's kids' fucking mouths. Margaret Thatcher made those decisions because we had no money. And that is just a fucking fact. It's just a fact. People, lefty cunts, whinge about Thatcher as if it was out of spite. Out of spite, she wanted to do it. Why did she want to do it? You tell me a logical fucking reason why a woman would want children not to get warm milk. Why would she? She just did it out of spite. Like, we had loads of money. Like, Thatcher took over after the 70s was a fucking shambles. We had unburied dead in the fucking streets. And they think, what, we had loads of money, so Thatcher just went, you know what, I hate kids, I'll just take the milk off them. Give your fucking head a shake. Go and read about the trains. They got nationalised because we were hemorrhaging money. We didn't have any bastard money. Yeah. Now, yes, Stephen, I'm willing to meet anyone halfway as long as what you say is logical. Yeah, she could have done a better job of spreading the money about. Yeah, she made fucking wrong decisions. She fucked things up. But the infantile Thatcher, evil or saint, is just that. It's infantile. Yeah, she got things wrong. Everyone does. But there was hard decisions to make. And that's just a fucking fact. She didn't do anything out of spite. It wasn't like, fucking, I hate kids, starve them all. Oh, I hate miners, batter them all. Oh, I fucking hate trains, Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, fuck him, close all the trains. We were making tough decisions because we had no bastard money. Easy. It's like, but think about it. Ultimately, she's running the country like a fucking house. It's like, have we got enough to pay for the kids, buy the kid a new skateboard this Christmas? No, I haven't got any money. Okay, sorry, you can't have the skateboard. It's not like you didn't get me a skateboard because you hate me, you cunt. Is it? Nobody thinks about that when you're talking about making cuts in your household. Oh, we can't afford, you know what, we're proper skinned. We can't have that Saturday night meal we always have where we get a pizza in on a Saturday for a treat. Sorry, we're having spam this fucking Saturday. Why do you hate me, Daddy? I don't fucking hate you. I'm doing it because I have to. We had to make hard decisions. There was no fucking money, so she cut shit. That's the end of the discussion, right? And Biden is right in one respect. It's not all his fault. Not the inflation. The oil issue is mainly his fault. Because as I've said, I've seen the numbers for that. The Keystone Pipeline is going to bring down 900,000 barrels of oil a day. 900,000 barrels a day, and we only import 500,000 from the Russians. So again, you don't have to be a mathematical fucking wizard to figure out that the main reason the price has gone up for fucking petrol is because you get petrol as an oil byproduct, and that thick geriatric old piss sodden shit for brains fucking special needs child in the White House basically said, fuck it, we don't need 900,000 barrels of oil a day because I'm going to pander to Chomper, AOC, teeth like a dead sheep, Google-eyed crazy fucking lady and her ridiculous woke chums. That is why the fucking gas prices have gone high. Oh, look, someone's in from Cuba. Probably not a communist if he's actually from Cuba. Welcome. Yeah, there's nothing like starving to fucking death to turn people away from communism. So, yeah, dig her up. Dig her up. I've said this fucking loads of times. Dig her up. Splay her fingers. Taxidermist. Dig her up. Splay her fingers. Put her in Downing Street like that. Use her as a fucking comedy hat stand and she'll do more good than Boris fucking Johnson because our politicians are so incompetent that nothing does a better job. When Sheffield Hallam went without a fucking politician for years, fucking Belgium hadn't had a government for about 5 years at one point. Did Belgium collapse? Is everybody walking around in rags? Rats feasting on the fucking relatives? Shit works better in our current system where we had centuries of relative stability where we were well led. And then in the last 30 years, just a complete shambles. Weaklings, shit for brains, and fucking spiteful cunts who want to ruin everything to make themselves rich. We'd be better off without them. We'd be better off without them. If we just had nobody in there, we'd do a better job. But the fucking fact of the matter is, we've been kicking this can down the road for 30 years. And it's primarily because of 50% of you cunts and the majority of society is because we tolerate it. Like I've said, ultimately, election, the system works. You get what you deserve. We deserve it. Like, even you lot, about half of you seem to be like, no, but Thatcher wasn't that good. No, you have to pay your fucking debts. And for 30 years, we've spent money that we don't have. So half of you lot are going to be the same. You'll be like, oh, yeah, fuck it, but I'm still going out on the piss even though I've only got 30 quid in the bank. Sort your life out. My simple message, if I was running for office, it wouldn't be make America great again. It'd be sort your fucking life out. Sort your life out. Probably can't have the F word on a political slug. Sort your life out. Every one of us should be living within our means. Every single one of us. And if you're on welfare, it should hurt a bit. It should be like, I mean, like I said, I've said this many times. I wouldn't even give them money at all. I wouldn't give them any cash whatsoever. Nothing. Mick Philpott would have got 50 quid's worth of carefully selected 5 a day healthy meals dropped off at his house once a week. And his kids would all be wearing Sports Direct fucking shell suits. I'd have a special deal with Sports Direct. I'd buy billions of pounds worth of fucking Slazenger tracksuits off them. And if you're on the fucking dole, you're getting attired by the state, because I don't want you spending money on fags, booze, fucking roll-ups, scratch cards, and all the other shit that Mick Philpott and you can't kid a kidder. Fucking bloke from Middlesbrough knows, because he's fucking associates with these people, what scrubbers spend the bastard money on. Owen Jones doesn't know because he's a middle-class wanker. But everyone who's actually lived in a council estate knows for a fact that the cunt who doesn't do any work all day has got more expensive trainers on than you do when you're a scaffolder and you have to go and actually do some work. And it pisses you off. So think about it. Every one of us should be living within our means. If you've only got 40 quid in the bank and payday's not for another week, don't go out this weekend. Go for a jog, take a long walk in the hills, perhaps. Get the bus to the seaside and go for a walk on the beach. Treat yourself and spend 99 pence on a fucking lemon top, and then go home and contemplate why you're so shit with money. And if the nation was run the same way, none of this would be happening. So I'm not blaming it all on Biden. I'm just saying he is the fucking cherry on top of the dog shit sundae. And his shameless fucking lies. What do you mean? That 40 quid you're dreaming? 40 quid you're dreaming? I'll get by on 40. In fact, I think in the last 7 days I've spent less than 40 quid. Easy. Bus 2 quid. Lemon top 150. Easy. You drink tap water and you eat fucking spam. It's a piece of piss. I still do it now and I've got much more than £40 in the bank. You've got to live a fucking poverty lifestyle and then you get money. It's easy. And if everybody in the country grasped this, I mean, have you seen the statistics? Britain is embarrassing. America's embarrassing. The West is embarrassing. The credit card debt people have got. It's unbelievable. Again, I'm having a go at you fuckers in the chat as well as the general public. If you cannot get to through a month without sticking shit on your credit card, change your life. Don't give me this fucking, oh yeah, but everything's too expensive, because I'm sick of arguing with Dawley's and fucking boozer about it. My mate Wesley, I hope she doesn't see this. His sister is a fucking career Dawley, and I know many, many of them. People who literally never ever work from cradle to grave. And those fucking people have got enough money. Every day they go, oh, I can't afford to feed the kids. Well, why are you smoking then? I'll tell you what I noticed. It doing a recycling round in York. All the ones who said they didn't have any money, when I went to pick their recycling up, would put out, and I knew you can a house is like a banana. A house is like a banana. You get an outward display of the internal content. I swear to God. Again, you're talking to a fucking working class bloke. Telling you, I got to the point where I knew by looking at the house, if someone was going to come out, whether or not they'd have fucking 3 teeth, tattoos on the fucking neck, and talk like this fella, because the fucking chain smoke roll-ups and gargle with special brew. You can tell. And these fucking people do no work ever and always have enough money for booze and fags, and then go on the BBC and give them a sob story, and twats like Owen Jones and fucking Ash Sarkar, all these people that can't even afford to feed the kids, man. They can. They're spending at least 100 a week on fags and booze. So don't tell me that they can't afford to feed the kids, you lying fucking bastard. And if you're some fat chav who's sitting there going, oh no, this is all boss, I can't afford to feed my kids. Well, how much you spend on fags and booze in a month? Tell me. And don't lie. I've never met a teetotal career fucking dolly. Ever. Ever. I don't know one. I know plenty who drink in my local. I used to drink in the Brown Cow in York. It was one of the roughest pubs on the inside of the walls in fucking York. And yeah, Maggie's laughing at the teeth comment. I swear down. In the Brown Cow, if they had a big crowd in and you had a queue at the bar, there was more fucking feet than teeth. I'm telling you. More feet than teeth. There'd be 8 people and there'd be fucking 9 teeth. These fucking people do nothing but lie. Oh, I'm all starving. So ultimately, like I said, the Angry Bootneck tells it how it fucking is. Ultimately, we get what we deserve, because people like me and those of you in the chat that are in full agreement, Blue Van Man, we accept it, and we're in the minority. And a democracy only works when you have rule of the majority. So unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we get what we deserve. We did this, we deserve it, because most fucking people live carefree like a fucking idiot. Live like a twat. Waste all your money on shit. Go to the races when you've got no money. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. If you put a tenner in the footsie 20 years ago, you'd have a fucking fair chunk of money now. Why are you going to the racetrack when you've got no fucking money? That's gambling, and the gambler always loses in the end. Why are you buying fags and booze when you've got no money? The nation should be run like the people that are in it. And because the people that are in it are such a bunch of clueless twats, we can't really complain that much, can we? But it grips my shit. This fucking bloke, to say that when we all know what's gone on in the last 30 years, and especially since Joe shit for brains Biden stumbled into that fucking office and accidentally urinated in the broom closet because he thought it was the bathroom, because he's a fucking lunatic with the IQ of a sausage roll. That's why we're fucked. That's why we're fucked. We've got no money. Inflation's rocketing up because eventually you have to pay the piper. And for 30 years, politicians have gone, you know what? Just print more money. I don't want to be unpopular and possibly not win an election and tell people they should be living within the means and tell people we have to pay our national debt off. So fuck it. Fuck it. Even David Cameron, who did a better job than many fucking shit for brains politicians when it comes to trying to run the economy, all he paid off was the deficit. He didn't pay off any fucking debt. So we deserve it, ladies and gentlemen. Look in the mirror. It's our fault. If everybody in the country ran their affairs like I do, Britain would be a fucking titan. We'd have a surplus. Nobody would have any credit card debt. And everyone would just be going to work and eating sparingly and go to the gym and occasionally getting pissed when you can afford it and you've got the day off work. Remember my 3 rules? For those of you that are new, Bootneck's got 3 rules about getting pissed. 1, never, ever, ever drink if you're in a bad mood, because it doesn't fucking manifest well in a pissed brain. Number 2, never, ever, ever get pissed if you can't afford it. If you haven't got a couple of grand in the bank and you're going to have to put it on a credit card, you never get pissed. And number 3, never, ever get pissed if you've got work in the morning, because there's no excuse to miss work and end up getting sacked because you're a twat and you went out boozing when you shouldn't have done. Follow those simple fucking rules and you can even get pissed every now and then. How hard is it? Blue Van Man's a happy drunk. Well, yeah, that's fine. Me too. Me too. My old fella always said that to me. As long as you don't cause any trouble, get pissed as you want. People, if you're one of these fucking lunatics who's... my mate Greg was like this, bless him. He's a great friend of mine, Bootneck. Lost one of his legs in Afghanistan. He was fucking brilliant, Greg. Lovely bloke, do out for you. A little short-ass hairy Welshman with a serious fucking attitude problem when he has a drink. He was the nicest fella ever. And we used to call him Instant Arsehole, Just Add Stella. Because you used to pour 6 pints into him and then he wants to fight every cunt. The things he used to do, I can't even talk about it on the stream. Like literally just randomly start exposing himself in the middle of the pub like fucking maniac. Like he got arrested a dozen times. He told me once that he got banned from his local in Wales. And then he walked outside, climbed on the garage roof, broke into the fucking flat above it, because the landlord lives above the boozer in a lot of places, and then went into the fucking kitchen and then covertly, out of spite, drank all the cans in the fridge. He said he drank every bit of alcohol he could find in the fridge. And then, mortal, he fell asleep. And he's getting woke up by the police at 3 o'clock in the morning because they've come upstairs and found the cunt unconscious, covered in swamp on the fucking living room floor, and he ends up in the nick. Doing shit like that. If you do shit like that, there's another bit of advice: don't drink at all. If you're a chirpy chappy, and enjoy yourself every now and then, but don't do it if you're a fucking train wreck. And yeah, we deserve what we get. So I can't even have that much of a pop at Biden for this. But that headline, I just wanted to play this, so we'll give the BBC a day off. That headline is fucking lunacy. And if you think otherwise, I can only I can only assume you're some form of aquatic creature because we've all got a memory longer than 3 weeks. And Joe Biden's policies, especially on energy, pandering to the green lobby, he's got dozens of applications currently sat on his desk saying we want to drill, we want to pump, we want to frack. And he's like, nah, fuck yous. He knocked back the Keystone Pipeline. He's knocked back dozens of licenses for fracking and gas and oil production. That's why the gas prices are high. And if you think otherwise, you've got the memory of a fucking stoat. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You're a moron. So yeah, there's a fucking rant. A nice 40-minute one. It pisses me off. People need to fucking get a grip. Should we even do the BBC? All right, I'll do 5 minutes. I've told you all off. But seriously, sort your life out. If you're sitting there skint as fuck, sort your life out. You can do things to sort your life out, can't you? We know you can. This isn't a self-help channel. Like I've said, if you want a self-help channel, go and fucking see Joe Biden. Chris Thrall. But you can help yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Help yourself. 5 minutes for 7:15. No, it won't. I'm definitely not staying past 12. Let's have a look at the chat for a second. Have you seen the biggest game in town? No, I haven't. 5 minutes 15. No, living outside the means, yeah. I cut the booze down. I have a habit of pissing all over the house. That's a good way. That's a good thing. Joe Biden's self-help channel. Come on, man. Yeah, well, it might be better at it than me. So I'm not going to start bollocking you all again, but I'm just saying we can't whinge too much about Joe Biden's ridiculous, absurd lies because ultimately we're all guilty. We're all guilty. We've tolerated it for 30 years. But yeah, ridiculous lies. Of course, it didn't start fucking 3 weeks ago. Jesus wept 3 weeks ago. Fuck me. Okay. Record number of LGBT characters on TV, study says. Now, what I like about this is it's like you need a study. You need a study to show you this. A fucking study. I'll tell you what you need to tell you this. Eyes and ears. I rang my dad. I said, how's it going? He was like, every time I turn that fucking telly on, there's two blokes snocking, fucking yogurt potting, proper going for it. Americans in the chat, yogurt potting is obviously when you're trying to lick the last morsels from the bottom of a yogurt pot. That's yogurt potting. Every time you turn the telly on in Britain now, there's two fucking blokes yogurt potting, proper going for it. It's like, do you need a study? I mean, I was watching a Domestos advert and two black blokes start fucking necking on. Do I need a study to tell me this? Do any of us? Fuck me. Anyway, we'll read it. A new report has found LGBT representation on US TV is at a high, with nearly 12% of regular characters who are LGBT, up 2.8%. So higher than the normal percentage of humanity. This is what I keep saying. If aliens turned up from another planet and then fucking turned the telly on, they would assume everyone in Britain was black and 80% of humanity was a raving, because they're always flamboyant, a raving homosexual or a lesbian or LGBTQ plus I or trans or hermaphrodite or whatever. And again, should they be represented? Yeah, I'm not against any of that. But it should be mathematically logical. This is all I've ever said. Again, Bootneck's not anti-LGBT. All he's ever said is, why can't we approach these things with common sense? Why has it always got to be a pendulum? Something goes wrong and we swing one way. And then to correct ourselves, we go too far the other way. And we're always on this fucking pendulum. Can't we just be reasonable and logical? And somebody sit down and go, again, this is a crazy thing. Sitting there in a BBC room, you're going to make a contemporary drama. I want to make sure this is representative of real London. So here's what I do. If I'm common sense, if I was the producer, I'd go, real London? What do you mean representative? And they'd say, there should be like blacks, and Pakistanis and burqa wearing women and like gingers and Jews and gays and real London. I'd go, right then, check the census data, find out roughly what these percentages are, and then when we have a scene in King's Cross Station or a football match is easy. You can check the season ticket records, right? Because I've noticed they seem to be predominantly white men. But now you fucking see a TV drama, football match, you're at a West Ham versus Arsenal, and there's two lesers scissoring around the fucking corner flag. Yeah, going for it. There'll be a fucking paraplegic dwarf at the front, Stephen Hawking's Indian brother. There'll be all sorts of mad shit. A leprechaun will do a backflip at some point. Fucking someone who's just in a bucket with eyes will get carried onto the fucking. I'm a number one fan. I've got no bones. We're living in fucking crazy world. It's supposed to be representative of real London. So what you do is you figure out the real percentages and then you just put them in the fucking show. But we don't do that. We haven't been representing them enough, so just fucking fill everything with them. So 12% is higher than the normal percentage. So you shouldn't be turning on every single commercial and every single TV show and everywhere you fucking look. You can't get away from lesbians and gays going for it. That's not what real life looks like. You ever been into an English pub and seen a gay man fisting his lover over a fucking pinball machine? I haven't. Never seen it once. Real gay people are quite reserved. They try and just fit in because they want to be left alone. They don't do the shit you see on TV now. I've never seen a gay man wearing a big pink top hat with dildos sellotape to it. In the real world, that doesn't happen. But on BBC fucking dramas, it does. Because they're all fucked in the head. It's like the pirate Star Wars, yeah. Fucking Tatooine. We're living in a fantasy land. Again, how many times have I said it? We're living in a fucking fantasy land. So there you go. Apparently, great news. The numbers come in because everyone's a fucking fascist. And they count them and go, oh, get me more gays in here. Oh, I need another black. Apparently that's tolerant. Apparently that's progressive. Acting like a fucking fascist, the LGBT Gestapo, and demanding that absolutely everywhere you look, there's a load of fucking blokes snogging each other. Look, they've counted them. I mean, how bigoted it must have been. They're counting them. Even the most virulent homophobes don't count them, surely. Get me another Chinese in here now. That's racist. Because you're obsessed with it. Think about what you're saying. I don't do that. Why are you obsessed with it? Bisexual representation made up 29% of all LGBT characters. An increase of what percentages? Killing Eve was a great example of bisexual significant characters. For a fourth year in a row, LGBT people from ethnic minority backgrounds outweighs white LGBT people on broadcast. Oh, that might be a bit prejudiced. We might be trying to train people that you're more likely to be homosexual if you're a black man. I think there's a few Nigerian fellas or devout Muslims that might be a bit pissed off about that. Anyway, there we go. So there's a fantastic story. Fantastic story. We're killing prejudice one bigot at a time by being absolutely obsessed with LGBT and ramming it down everybody's throats, even though it makes no logical sense and doesn't resemble reality in any way. Nice one. Fucking brilliant. All right, we'll call it there, shall we? I'm not going into another tirade about the French or people that can't do basic economics. All I will say is, like I said, we do deserve it. We do deserve it. Democracy works. If we got pissed off about the way our country handles everything, fucking everything, economics, printing money, immigration, war, invading every country, anything you want to bring up. If the general public got as pissed off about things as they should do, the world would be a better place. But we don't, so we deserve it. If we got even a modicum of the rage that we get when our internet connection falls off, or your Netflix fucking gets switched off, or whatever, Tumblr's down, Twitter's not working, if we could summon even a modicum of that rage, then maybe the world would be a better place and we'd live within our means and we'd pay our debts and we wouldn't be beholden to billionaire Saudis and fucking oligarchs and crooked politicians and scum. But as long as we continue to tolerate it, we'll continue to deserve it, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just a fucking fact, right? Thanks, everybody, for watching. If I've got time, I'll do one tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Make sure to check in on YouTube. They won't tell you. I was going to say no, they definitely won't tell you. Just flip a fucking coin, and if your head just comes up, come and check in. I might be on about noon tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody's doing all right, and I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.